So I'll admit it, I kind of overreacted after the Celtics game. I was just pretty frustrated with the lack of effort from a lot of the guys. But at the end of the day, the regular season is the regular season, and the Cavs bounced back and got a big win against the Atlanta Hawks while missing 4 of their rotational guys. Donovan Mitchell almost dropped 40 points. He had 37. One of the young players has really been making a name for himself. I actually met him at a restaurant last night in downtown Cleveland. I'm sure most of you guys probably know who I'm talking about, but if you don't, you'll have to wait and find out. Darius Garland will be returning to the team very soon. That is huge news that I want to talk about and get into. And then on top of all the news, I want to talk about some of the good and also the bad from the start of this season, what I would like to see continue, and what areas I think this team can improve in. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. So I will say it really has been a tough start to the season just from like a schematic standpoint, because when you don't have your guys out there, it's tough to create consistency. You don't have Sam Merrill and you don't have Jarrett Allen. Well, I guess they played at the beginning of the season, but you don't have them as of right now, as of the last 2 games. They started the season without DeAndre Hunter. Obviously, Darius Garland has yet to play in a game, and Max Strus is out for 2 months. So when you're not playing with 4 or 5 of your rotational guys, it's really hard to develop consistency. You're not going to see a ton of shot making. You're not going to see a ton of creativity on the offensive end. You're not going to see game flow. So I do got to give Kenny Atkinson credit for even keeping the ship afloat, because most teams would crumble without 4 or 5 of their key guys. So I am just really excited for the return of Darius Garland. I know he gets hurt a lot, so I'm hoping that he can put together a stretch of being healthy. Hopefully he can make it through the entire season. I think the Cavs should definitely be careful with him. I'm not saying they should give him the Lonzo Ball treatment where you don't play him in back-to-backs, but I definitely don't think he should be playing full-time. He should be around 25 to 30 minutes a game. I know his stats are going to suffer from that, but again, we're more worried about the postseason than anything. I think he's more worried about the postseason than anything. We need to find a way to keep Darius Garland healthy. I know it's not 100% in anyone's control because anything can happen out there on the court, and he's kind of smaller and he does play aggressive. He likes to try to get rebounds, and because of that, sometimes he gets hit in the face. Actually, a lot of times he gets hit in the face, and that's really been his Achilles heel. I mean, he's had a lot of foot injuries, but really it's the face stuff that has made him play differently, because when you get hit in the face 5 times in a month, obviously you're kind of aware of that, and it's in the back of your head, and it just makes you think and play a different way. But still, him coming back is going to be huge for this offense that really has not put it together yet so far this season. Again, it's early, but I'm super excited to see what he can do specifically with Lonzo Ball, because I love Lonzo as a passer. I love the pace he plays with. And Lonzo is tall and has a big wingspan, so he really makes up for some of the issues that Garland and Mitchell have had playing together. Because those two together have below average perimeter defense, they don't grab long rebounds, obviously they are elite offensively, but as I said all offseason, Lonzo really could make this thing work. But we have yet to see all 3 on the court, so we don't know what to make of the trio yet, and that is why I am looking forward to his return that should come within the next 7 days. I will say one player I've been a little bit disappointed in so far through the first 7 games of this season is Evan Mobley, and I'm sorry to be negative. I do want this video to be about good news, but I do want to talk about this for a little bit because I do think Evan Mobley has not been as aggressive as I would have liked for him to be to open up this season. I thought with all the guys being out and injured, that was going to kind of open the door for him to put up a lot of shots, for him to try to be the leading scorer and the first option of this offense, but he just still plays soft. I know he's gotten bigger and he's grown, and he's kind of developed a deeper bag offensively, but man, he just still plays soft. He gets pushed around, and he's not attacking the rim. He's actually shooting below 45% from the field in total, which that's not good at all. He is averaging 2 steals and just under 2 blocks a game, which is solid aggressiveness defensively. He's averaging over 19 a game, so it's not like his numbers offensively have been bad. It's just the aggressiveness, it's not there, and it's really disappointing. Hopefully he can turn it around. Maybe it's just a beginning of the season slump kind of thing, but I would love to see a more aggressive version of Mobley. And if the Cavs actually want to turn into true contenders, Evan Mobley is going to have to be that guy that takes over and leads this team, and right now I'm just not seeing it. Obviously Jarrett Allen is hurt, so we'll see over these next few games if he decides to kind of step it up and be more assertive on the offensive end, but right now I'm not seeing it. But again, I'm not totally giving up. I'm not out on Evan Mobley. He's the reigning defensive player of the year. He's arguably a top 10 to top 15 player in the league. But truly, like I said, if the Cavs want to be championship contenders, Evan Mobley has got to be the focal point of everything that this team does. And right now, he's just not. But to get back to the positives, one guy who really has been solid, especially over the last 3 to 4 games, is Jalen Tyson. I didn't expect to see it, but he's become super aggressive offensively. He's knocking down his jump shots, he's attacking the rim, and he just plays with so much fire. It's fun to watch him on the defensive end. He plays like every game is his last, and that's how you have to play as a second-year guy who's still trying to make a name for himself. He has made the most of his opportunity with all these guys being hurt, and I think he's going to turn into an end-of-the-rotation guy by the end of the season. I think Kenny Atkinson is starting to fall in love with him in the way he plays. I did meet him at a restaurant last night, as I talked about in the intro. He's a super chill and down-to-earth guy. I have been more than pleased with what Jalen Tyson has brought to this team in the first few weeks of the season. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep it up, especially at this pace. In that last game against the Hawks, he had 18 points in just 25 minutes and had 3 rebounds and 2 assists and was plus 16 in terms of plus minus. He's been a menace, and his game is still far from being polished. So he really could turn himself into a solid 9th or 10th guy in the rotation come the end of the season, and he's a great regular season minute eater as well. Another guy who's been absolutely tearing it up is Donovan Mitchell. Obviously you would expect that, but it's not always that you see a superstar coming into the season red hot, but he's averaging just under 30 points a game offensively. I was kind of shocked with what happened in the Celtics game because he was 5 of 5 from deep, and then all of a sudden he just stopped shooting. I don't think it was a Vegas call because I don't really believe in that, but it kind of felt like it if there ever was one. But besides that, Donovan has just been attacking the rim. He's been creating shots for himself and also for others. He's just been running this offense and keeping them afloat despite missing Sam Merrill, DeAndre Hunter for those 2 games. Jared Allen is now out. Max Strus is out, and Max being out really does affect the bigs in ways that most people don't see, because Max Strus is one of those guys who consistently throws lobs. He's always driving and getting the ball to the center, setting them up in position to score. And without Strus, we're kind of seeing the effect on Mobley and Allen, and that's why their stats are lower than they should be. Obviously, like I said, I do want to see Mobley attack more, but I do got to give him some benefit of the doubt because he's without Garland and Strus, and those are 2 guys that give him the ball and set him up for success the most. So basically, there's been a lot of good and a lot of bad as of this week. There's a lot of good to talk about because Darius Garland is going to be returning, and that is going to completely rejuvenate this offense. We desperately need his scoring and his playmaking. Also, him being out there on the floor is going to take minutes away from some of the bottom of the rotation guys that really shouldn't be out there. I'm a big fan of Larry Nance, but at the end of the day, he's getting older and he just doesn't have it anymore. He occasionally has a good shooting night, but I just don't want him to have consistent minutes throughout the season. He's just not a guy that's going to contribute to winning, even though, like I said, love the guy, love his family, he's got ties to the organization, but he just doesn't have consistency. So that specifically is why the return of Darius Garland is huge. Again, I really hope that he can stay healthy. That is a big thing. That is the most important thing for this season. But besides that, man, there's just a lot of good stuff going on for the circumstance. Getting Sam Merrill back whenever he gets healthy is going to be huge because he has broken out so far this season. He's been red hot from behind the arc. His shooting numbers are absurd. It definitely seems like the Cavs front office and Kobe Altman made the right decision in choosing to keep Merrill over Ty Jerome. Obviously, it was disappointing to lose him, but that was by far the right decision. Merrill just gives this team exactly what they need. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Are you excited for the Darius Garland return? Do you think he can kind of rejuvenate this offense? How happy have you been with some of the players like Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell? Again, I'm going to try my best not to overreact like I have in the past few weeks because, again, it is only Game 7 of the season and there's a lot of room for improvement, and it's a long year, and the Cavs are going to make those improvements. It's just going to take time. And again, when you have 4 of your rotational guys out, it's just hard to develop any sort of routine and consistency. So we're going to have to wait for these guys to get back out there before we can truly judge what is going on. That's really all I got for this one, though. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point. Let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.